sample that we used, and then put the 808 underneath it. A little bell, and then our percussion, and our hats. Here in St. John's, Newfoundland. East End, Airport Heights.
Got a new watch on my left wrist, like it's due time for my check, bitch. And I do drive kinda reckless, I get too high for that stressing. I done learned a lot of lessons.
So, what's your favorite genre of music?
Huh. Fuck. Like synth poppy stuff. The Weeknd, for example, is really good. It sounds kind of corny, but I love classical piano. Piano fan. Chopin or something, which is like a super old composer from...
Who are your top 5 favorite mainstream artists?
Drake. Drizzy. I'm a Drizzy stan. Tory Lanez. I love Tory Lanez. I would love to work with Tory Lanez. This new kid out of Toronto named Houdini is really popping off right now. I really like Houdini. I love French Montana and Post Malone, I guess. Like, they're just like your Ariana Grande, for example, because her producers are just incredible, right? Lil Baby.
Yeah.
I love Lil Baby.
Me too.
I think that he's a really talented vocalist. Oh, Young Thug, of course.
Yeah.
I love, like, Young
Genius.
Thug, too. He's genius, yeah. He's just vocal melodies are really impressive.
Okay, can you tell me one of like a crazy story from when you were performing?
I used to DJ for years because I was getting paid to have a taste and have selections. We DJ'd for like, I'd say 600 or 700 people at Jack Byrne Arena. It's like craziest shit I've ever done in my life, being up on a massive stage with full like lighting, backline, and a full crowd of like 600 kids.
Yeah.
And it was a surreal experience. The craziest thing I've ever done in my life.
Awesome.
I met ASAP Ferg.
What?
Yeah, when he came here for Random Sound.
Oh my god.
It was brief, very brief. But I got to say like hello and you know.
That's crazy.
I thought that was really cool.
That is cool.
Smoked a joint with some of the protege.
Wow.
Met a couple producers and stuff I thought were really cool. I was really into. So we went on tour across Newfoundland DJing because I did it again with the hip hop stuff. But we went DJing in Gander, and our shtick was that every place that we went, we would pretend that we were Australian.
Yeah.
And just put on the Australian accent. We went to a bar and started talking to these girls who were at this bar, and we were like in Gander, and we fed them the Australian accent, and they ate it up. But the guy they were with didn't believe it, and we kept saying that we were pilots in the Australian Air Force, and that we were in Gander for a training exercise. And the guy like interrupted us like in the middle of the conversation. Was like, yeah, boys. all great and stuff. You guys are Australian. He goes, but the Air Force, there's no Australian Air Force.
Oh my
And
god.
he's like, so if you aren't going to put your life on the line, don't pretend. And I just look at my buddy that I was DJing with at the time and said, well, I guess our jig's up.
Yeah. How do you feel about clout chasers?
I love them.
Good.
No, I don't actually. It's an epidemic, I think. People, hopping on the next hot thing just shows that you have no integrity as an artist to begin with. I really like when people find their wave and develop their wave and their sound.
Mm-hmm.
But if this artist is popping this week, well, let's go make a song that sounds like him. I don't really fuck with that. Although I'm guilty of it myself, and I've done it. When all the Drake stuff came out, like the Scorpion album, I was like, oh my god, we gotta make stuff that sounds like nonstop. Which is kind of cloud chasing in a way, because it's trying to, almost jock Drake's steez. But I just think people need to, instead of focusing so much on what's going to sell, focus more on what's going to sound good to them. If they're happy with it. I guess if what they want to make sonically is still what is going to sell, then that's fine. But chasing another artist's style just because he was the one that sold and he's the one that has a following, he's the one that's popular, is pretty counterproductive. I listened to two guys talk about Mac Miller the other day and how important he was to them, and it was they had a back and forth of what Mac Miller albums and Mac Miller projects and stuff they had, and it was just kind of it was crazy. I don't even know how to explain it, because they're yeah, I have this and this and this and this. I have his first album and Macadelic or whatever. I don't really know all of Mac's albums. I know, Blue Slide Park was the biggest one to me.
Me too. Yeah, that's my favorite one. I listened to that cover to cover over and over. Yeah.
I don't think we realize it, but we're in a crazy, crazy period for music right now. Mm-hmm. It's the most accessible it's ever been. Everybody has streaming. Everybody can listen to whatever they want. Mm-hmm. There's hundreds of different genres. It's not just rock. It's not just guitar anymore. It's, with the birth of sampling and electronic producing and stuff, or digital production, has changed music completely.
So where do you envision that bringing music? Do you think it's one of those things that your mind can't even perceive until it's done?
Yeah, I can't even guess where music will be 10 years from now.
Yeah.
Because you asked me that question 5 years ago, I would have said that it's going to go, everything's going to be electronic. Mm-hmm. Or 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I would have said everything would be electronic. But it's made music has just made the transition to hip hop now. Everything's hip hop. The number one stream genre in the world is hip hop.
And what do you think? What quality of it do you think makes that? Do you think it's the heavy bass lines? I feel like it's the bass personally, because I just feel as soon as you feel good bass in a song, your body will start moving.
Yeah, they product the instrument choice themselves, 808s, for example, that booming bass that you hear in a lot of trap music. People love to dance music for the bass and the crazy sounds, and because it got them moving.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same thing with hip hop. It's hype, and it's most dance music was 122 to 130 beats per minute. Trap. Most trap music sits at 135, say, to 150, 160 beats per minute. That's actually faster than dance music. Mm-hmm. So it's a higher energy. It's we could continue building energy.
Yeah.
I also think that the live performance is a big thing because, you know, during the days of the Rolling Stones, the Stones would have concerts and shows to sell records, right? But now it's the opposite. We produce records to sell shows. Like Pump, Smoke Perp, like all of those catchy, you know, Gucci Gang, for example. There's very little musical value to it, but the performance value is huge.
How much control do you think that these artists, like where they're so mainstream, how much control do you think they have over like what music they have to perform? Like if they have like ghostwriters and they make a fire beat, do you think that they can just say to these artists like, you don't really have a choice, this is going on your next album?
I think that a lot of the artists who are in like large 360 deals, for example, like, you know, I watched a video with Lyre Cohen, who was pretty prominent in the record industry, a conversation he had with Young Thug, and he was like, you know, you're a brilliant musician, and a lot of the stuff that you do is you know, next level, but everybody's getting lost in your rambling, and you can't sell records if nobody can understand what you're saying, so you need to make more commercial music. And it was like, he kind of had a point, because it's, when you're at that level, it's a living. It's you know, you're on contract to make music for this company that is going to make them profit. So you have to kind of play by their rules.
So if you had the opportunity and someone came to you tomorrow and said like, okay, we're a huge record label, like we want to sign you on, and you lost 50% control, would you take it for the publicity, or would you want to keep your independence?
I would do what Jay-Z did and Daft Punk, and I would say yes, and we'll play by your rules for this many years, and we'll release what you want for these many years, and you're going to distribute it, and you're going to take your profit for X amount of years, you know, and all in the same time I'm going to continue to make what I want on top of that. And when that time X, you know, comes up, say 10 years or whatever, I'll make music for you for 10 years. Your equation, what you want to hear, what you want to be putting out to the record label, to the streaming services and the radio stations and stuff. When that day comes, that the deadline's up and, you know, the agreed upon duration has been reached, then I would just release whatever the fuck I want to release. Like, Post Malone did it because, like, he wanted to release, I think he wanted to release more like sing-song, more melodic, more feely music, and he was releasing things that were more marketable, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's not a good example. Taylor Swift is a great example. Taylor Swift, I guess the labels looked at her as a great opportunity for a rising country star or something, and she just really wanted to make pop music, and you know, that's kind of what she did. She got her foot in the door, broke the ice with the country stuff, and then started making pop music. And like, I would do the same thing, absolutely, because when you're at that level, it's your job. You're looking at it as like, it's a source of income. You're making money from it. If you're employed by a company to do that for them, that's what you have to do.